Actually, this answer probably applies even if you have one child, not more than one. I think that everyone being here today, you have started the mental journey around what this could cost. You're probably looking at it over a period of time as opposed to what might it cost next year. You compound that out. And I can assure you, I think I'm safe in saying this, that every school here is extremely interested in helping as many people as they can, as much as they can. But in the end, there is a finite moment for us all in terms of our ability to help with that. So thinking ahead is certainly a great idea. You know, if you've chosen this path and you've decided that you value what any one of the schools is offering to you, then you're going to weigh that against all the other competing values in your life. What else would you choose to invest in? What else would you choose to have in your life? And even when you've done that, you may still see that a school that is extremely attractive to you is perhaps tough to attain financially. You know, I think beyond your own good thinking and budgeting and planning and thinking ahead, it's really important that as you go through this journey, you ask us, what opportunities do you have? There are a variety of things, and they get more creative and more innovative, I think, each year as we try to find a better way to be helpful, because we do recognize what our tuitions are. When you do have those conversations with admissions people or schools, ask, what are those criteria? When do you start awarding financial aid? Is that aid based on need, or is it based on some other set of criteria? And I think you'll find some mixed bags of both, although I think I'm safe in saying, and someone can jump up if I'm wrong, that most of it is based on need. And if that's the reality, we all use a third party, most of us anyway, I think almost all of us use a third party company called Apple Financial. If you've ever had the pleasure of doing your own taxes, then when you see these forms, these will look somewhat familiar to you. And you go through a process of disclosing basically assets and liabilities. This third party that is quite seasoned at doing this and works with many of the schools will make a recommendation back to the schools that you have applied to around what level of support, if you could as a school, you should make. And we would take that recommendation and then bake it into any of the decisions that we're making with respect to everyone else that we're trying to be supportive of. We're really excited about what it is that we do at these schools, and we're really excited that you think we might be of value to you. And we do want to try and build that bridge. And sometimes that's a bridge we can build that's acceptable to you. Sometimes it's might be a stretch, and then we may end up in a conversation that's a little bit us being helpful, perhaps you retooling some of those competing values, whatever it might be. But I know the fact that you're here, that you've started to think about that, and I think those are important questions for you, and I would encourage you to look at it as a journey through the educational experience to its conclusion at grade 12 and what that might look like. Because I think you might find too that once you are in a school, there are perhaps some financial opportunities for those who are already there, which is different than the opportunities that may exist for those that are just entering the school. So ask a lot of questions around that. It is important to understand how those work, what those criteria are. But like, I guess when someone looks at a really pricey university, I would not encourage you to allow the price tag to dictate whether or not you make that exploration or not. You might actually be surprised at how supportive some of the schools are able to be on an annual basis. And we all start at different grades in terms of where we start awarding financial aid, so it's important to ask that too.
And just to follow up to Chris or to anyone on the panel, how do parents find out? Is it strictly just call and ask, or do you have these scholarships, bursaries listed on your websites, in your material? How do parents find out about this? Simply just pick up the phone and call, or? I
think yes to everything you said. Yeah, I think this exists on the website for all of us. It exists in conversations. You're going through a process that's very personal to you. And I think the more interaction you have with the people at the schools that you're investigating, the more it will develop in you a sense of understanding around whether this is working for you or not. To read things on a website is a great piece of information. Information is readily available in all sorts of different ways. I think understanding the experience, because you're part of it too, would mandate maybe that you reach out and actually ask these questions to a real person. Well, much like you're going to be doing today, I would think so.